Whereas the Accomack County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative record vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas section 2.1-3771D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be resolved that Accomack County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second to certify the closed meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll now stand for the pledge and remain standing for a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. I would like to ask everyone, if you have not already, please silence your cell phones. Is there a, roll call, please?
Mr. Spidell,
Present.
Mr. Taylor,
Present.
Dr. Johnson, Mr. Neal,
Here.
Miss Handy. Here. Mr. Whippert,
Here.
Miss Bowman. Here. Mr. White, Miss Turner,
Here.
Dr. Miller. Here.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes for the 09/02/2025 meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion for the vouchers?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the vouchers as presented.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the vouchers. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's goals?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the superintendent goals as presented.
Second.
Thank you. There is a motion and second to approve the superintendent goals. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to approve the volunteer list?
Madam Chair, I move that we table the volunteer list until the next meeting.
Second.
Motion and second to table the volunteer list until the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion for the approval of the real estate contract?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the purchase agreement and authorize execution of the agreement.
Second.
Motion and second to move forward with the real estate contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion for the settlement agreement for the pending litigation?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the settlement agreement concerning contract litigation filed by the school board and Accomack County District Court and authorize execution of the agreement.
Second.
Motion and second for the litigation. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion for the personnel list?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the personnel list as amended.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to approve the personnel list as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have employee of the month.
For this school year, we are going to be having an employee of the month, will be chosen from, we're gonna give each school a chance to have one. So for this month, we would like to ask Mr. Haney to come up.
Hello?
There you go.
All right, come on, Simon. So this year, Dr. Miller had the idea that each school, each month, would nominate an employee of the month. So we're either first because we're best, or we're just an A. That's the alphabet. With me is Ms. Hopkins. I told her the reason we have to be here is it's supposed to be a surprise. I said we have a very important math presentation. So she spent a lot of time preparing for that, stressing about it. No presentation, Ms. Hopkins.
Really?
The employee of the month. But I couldn't be like, hey, you want to come to the board meeting? She wouldn't have came, so I had to give her a good reason. All right, so look, Ms. Hopkins, the reason you're here is because you're a phenomenal teacher. Ms. Hopkins is our math coach, so what she does is she has to go to our math classes that have the highest math needs. She goes to 6, 7, and 8. That's 8 different maths. When I go to these classes, it all looks the same to me because it's just gibberish on board. But it is different levels. She works with several different teachers, a variety of different students. Her schedule looks like a Rubik's Cube at times, but she does all this with grace, poise, competence, positivity, enthusiasm. Thank you, Ms. Hopkins. You've been a great employee. No, I'll give you a presentation.
No, it's okay. You want to sit in front of the podium?
Dr. Muller didn't get in
That was so cool.
there? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Someone's happy. We made one person. Okay, finance committee update.
So, Finance Committee held our first open meeting on Tuesday, September 9th, at the Tompkins, and we started at 5:30. Dr. Miller, Beth Only, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Whipper, and myself were present. We reviewed the status reports for the expenditure funds, the 102 and 260, the revenue status report, and the federal program reports, and at this time, everything looks to be in order. We're school has started too, so a little more in depth right now. That's good.
Policy committee update.
Policy committee met here at the school, and it was Ms. Jackson, Mr. White, and Dr. Miller, and myself, and we reviewed the policies, and everything looked to be in order. We don't make any changes to them, and that was the night of the big rain, so everything's good.
Excellent. Thank you. Next up is 6.03 board goals.
So me and Mr. Taylor met with our board retreat person, Jana, is her name, I believe. We had a really good board retreat with all of our members and superintendent and assistant superintendent. Some of the things we came up with, me and Mr. Taylor and Jana, was to strengthen the unity among the board and the broader Accomack County Public Schools community. The board will communicate and engage stakeholders to increase understanding of district priorities and activate engagement. Board members will meet with X amount of percentage of impacted elected officials, board supervisors, and state reps before the end of the year. The next step for us is to determine numbers to calculate how many elected officials do we want to reach. The aligned strategies. We have a new PIO that will develop a common document for board members to share. Board members will help the community understand more about the work of the board and opportunities to influence decisions by communicating more strategically and directly with their constituents as measured by the number of views in decision wrap-up and attendance at community meetings. The board chair and vice chair will designate does a video roundup of live stream following a meeting to outline decisions made and celebrate ununanimous decisions. The PIO sends video as a wrap-up to constituent out on social media, for example. The PIO will print out agenda flyer with bullet points at each board meeting, so all the people coming to the board meetings can follow along with our agenda. We will host 2 community meetings during the school year, including a hope for the kids and families to want to participate, brainstorm as a board, and other ideas. Possibly like bowling competitions, something to bring family members, students, and board members, and all in one location. The board will reduce the length and efficiency of board meetings by launching a committee structure to discuss critical topics in smaller groups and propose decisions. We've already done that with the committee launch, and so far that's working pretty good. The board will build trust with one another and community by taking advantage of opportunities to engage in less formal settings. The number of engagement opportunities hosted by percentage of board attendance. I recommend all of us board members be more visible in the schools, even though we all have full-time jobs. You need to take the time and be seen in all schools as many as you possibly can. And also, we're asking that all of us board members participate in something like a coffee with a colleague, so all of us board members can be more transparent with each other and get to know each other a little bit better on a personal level. And also, the board members should attend at least one formal division event each semester. So pretty much we're asking all of us to participate and attend more football games, more sporting events as much as we possibly can. Be more visible to our boss, which is the public. The next step is the board needs to ask an attorney about how to do this best without violating any open meeting law, because we only have 2 people at a time together. If we have 3 board members together, it's considered a meeting. And we want to get all of the board members' input, to reach out to the board chair, Ms. Turner, any kind of ideas about bowling or some kind of event that we can do as board members together and superintendent speak the board, so we can build a little bit better relationship. That's it.
That's good, that's quite a few things. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or remarks? I think now that we've moved to this structure where we have the committee meetings and we're not at the schools, really it's gonna give us an opportunity to go to the schools while the children are there. It was nice to have meetings at schools, but it would be better, if we get it to the end of the day, kids are there. Yes. Absolutely, well, thank you all for that, I know that was quite a bit of work. Next up is the art alliance.
I believe you have my presentation, and this is up to be considered tonight and voted on at the next meeting. Are there any questions?
I have one thing, and it's only, I think as a board, we should offer maybe an option 3. With further investigation on this, and some research, if we give the middle school an extra 500, or we give the middle school the change per pupil, that would actually lessen the art fee or the art allotment to middle schools, raising it at elementary school and lowering in middle school. So I suggest to the board that option 3 would be to give middle and elementary school art classes a $1,300 allotment across the board, so everybody's even, which would probably be $5,000 roughly for the whole year for all middle and elementary school art classes.
Okay, so the one question that I would have about that is that, first of all, the allotments are not a finance product. They were put together by the instructional team, and perhaps they do need to be looked at again and be updated maybe for next year's budget. But the one thing that I would caution against is increasing art allotment when there are other allotments, such as band, chorus, PE, and this would possibly create an inequity for those teachers. If I look at right now, middle school band and chorus, they each get $300 a teacher. And high school art, we increased that because we stopped charging art fees for the one. Middle and elementary, that's what the notes I just wrote down, but at $300 a teacher for band and chorus. I don't know, we always kind of talk about art, band, and chorus together as the electives. I would just caution against, if we were to increase it just for art, that might not be equitable for, band and chorus.
I would say that I came up with this conclusion just because art is, 100% consumable product versus band chorus, obviously the instruments might need repaired, might need some parts or something like that, whatever. So probably should raise the band and chorus allotments as well. But with art being 100% consumable, whatever, once they use the projects, the materials are gone. So that's what I come up with.
I do believe that the biggest cost for band and chorus is actually purchasing the music, because it is copyrighted. So you don't wanna just take it and pirate it or whatever. I believe the music is expensive. I'm not a chorus and band person, so I don't really know. That's why this is typically an instruction.
So we can buy new music every year.
Well, I think you would, because I wouldn't think you'd wanna have to do the same songs over and over. But like I said, I'm not.
I mean, they can't keep this.
They have to pay for the copyrighted
Yeah.
music. That's what I've heard before in sitting in these meetings for many years. I am
Maybe
not.
we can get the band and chorus teachers to come to the next meeting and tell us their concerns and what they need.
Is there room in the budget for these increases?
Well, these increases overall are not that big. I just would want to make sure they're equitable and not just targeting on one area.
I just worry that we have budgeted for this. Is there room in the budget to be doing this?
Well,
In the middle of
if you just look
budget
at
cycle?
the total cost on both of those, option 1 and 2 was under $5,000. I understand that. So, yes, I think we have enough.
But I think we do during budget season, we need to really kind of look at the allotments and do some adjustments, I think.
I know,
Like an instructional committee needs to do.
Yeah.
well, no, during the budget cycle, every principal was invited to come and say what they needed. And I don't recall one principal saying, I need more art money. I don't recall the elementary coordinator saying, we really gotta give the art teachers more money, all the specials.
So we will have a budget committee, going into this fall. I've already scheduled the meetings and waiting on principals to give me their, nominations for those committees. And so that committee will be talking through budget needs. We're gonna put out a budget survey. So we're gonna have a chance to get a lot of feedback from everybody, teachers, parents, community, school board members, staff, on what the budget priorities are for this coming year. And so hopefully that, we'll be able to get some of these inequities straight.
Great, thank you. Human resources update.
The human resources update is attached, and if you have any questions, it's the vacancies by school and department. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to Dr. Harrison. Any questions about that? This Special Education Advisory Committee, that is a list of proposed members that has to be approved by the board. It's up for your review for this meeting, and it will be up for approval at the next meeting.
So some of these folks are teachers also, is that correct?
There's a list of required members, so that's what's reflected there.
AES Beta Leadership Summit request.
So within our field trip policy, it is that the board has to approve overnight field trips. This is an overnight field trip request, Accomack Elementary for a Beta Leadership Conference, or Beta Leadership field trip. So that is for your review for this time. Any discussion and questions you can direct towards Dr. Avier or myself. And then it'll be up for approval next meeting.
I'm sorry, I think we interrupted the next meeting, October 21st, and the deadline for registration is October 12th. So it kind of has to be approved before the next meeting.
Okay.
Oh,
that's up to the board, however the board would like to move forward. Principals were notified, so I didn't make it to the staff. We can discuss that later.
Does the board have interest in making an exception for this, or do you want to wait for?
I say we make an exception.
Okay, and going forward, if the principals and everyone can know that generally, unless there's an emergency, things appear on the agenda twice.
All right, and also where we're starting to do committees, you know, just kind of a little bit of a tweak here, I agree, I think we should make an exception. Yes, I move that we approve the AES Beta Leadership Summit request as presented.
Motion is second to approve the beta. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The MOU, which we have seen a couple of times now,
Sorry.
community services board. I didn't kind of miss that. Is there a motion to approve that?
That's not, that is.
Is there any questions?
There's several MOUs that are up for just discussion and review this.
Okay, I thought we can't see this last time.
We can't hear you.
Any questions about that?
You can't hear the chair.
No, hear anybody.
No. I don't know, I had this microphone.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Basketball too.
You gotta put your mouth on.
Cross.
Are there any questions about the CSB or the sheriff's office? Any questions about handle and care? Any questions about the I Teach MOU? Any questions about the MOU with the Shinty Police Department? New social media policy.
So the policy committee did not review this policy. We pulled this one out because this is a brand new policy. And we did not have a social media policy before. And so we wanted the entire board to review this, and it's just up for review this time. It'll be up for action next time.
Anybody have any questions about that? Superintendent.
All right, so as I mentioned previously, we do have the budget meetings are already on the calendar. We're waiting. We had a principals meeting on September 3rd, and we discussed superintendent advisory committee, the budget committee, strategic planning committee, and the calendar committee. The principals are going to have representatives from each of their schools and each of their communities, parents, teachers, and administrators and students. So they are going to have those to meet by October 1st, and we will begin adding those participants to the advisory committees. Those are, like I said, they're already on the calendar for all of those various advisories. And the paper committee, the copy allotment committee has met. They're still working on it. They're going through, they want to be very thorough in what they're presenting. So they have met once. They're going to meet again in the coming week, and then we'll be able to update you at the next board meeting with what they have come up with. We do have 3 more volunteer events scheduled at the high schools. Those will be coming out on social media. We had a really good turnout for the last one, so we do have a whole other round scheduled, and so we'll be getting you the information on those. The last thing is the All-In grant. We ended up, the all-in grant was to be spent over 3 years as far as instructional materials and tutoring and things like that. There was not a lot of money spent in the first 2 years, and so we ended up with quite a chunk. Since we are working on allowing students in grades 3 through 8 to take their Chromebooks home, we are going to use a piece of that money. We're amending the grant, well, Ms. Taylor is amending the grant to work in more Chromebooks for our students. Right now, we are barely 1-to-1, so we are not short Chromebooks, but we definitely don't have extras. So we are going to work on getting some of those Chromebooks so that students have Chromebooks to use at school as well as at home. That's all I have.
Thank you. You've been very busy. Thank you very much. Next up is the English Learner Program Handbook. Does anyone have any questions about this? I think it's just an update.
It's up for approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the English Learner Program handbook as presented.
Second.
Okay. Motion is second to approve the English Learner Program handbook. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next up is the Bailey Hall Historical Marker.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the Bailey Hall historical marker as presented.
Just add that it does not get attached to the building, that it's on a freestanding pole.
Madam Chair, I'd like to amend my motion to that the marker will not be attached to the building, but on a separated type of a post.
Did they request that it be attached to the building?
No, but someone has attached a sign to the building.
But not the still more.
No, they saw a sign that they had made, I think.
Where there's like,
Yeah.
still markers just outside the road.
Okay.
I can on the diagram, they have where they're gonna place it.
Motion is second to have our historical marker. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And MOU with the sheriff's office.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the MOU with the Accomack County Sheriff's Office as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to approve the MOU with the sheriff's department. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. School board member comments. Mr. Spidell.
Since our last meeting, I went to a few events, and I went to Middlesex High School Battle of the Day volleyball last Saturday, and it was pretty exciting to see everybody, Shakespeare played in it, and it was exciting to see everybody. And then I went to a couple soccer games, one at Arcadia, and it was really nice to see Arcadia Middle School's got a really good soccer team. It was a good event, and today I came to it, when I was at Shakespeare, they played it.
I was at a football game last Friday, and it was a good crowd. Not a successful game, but they played well. And I've been asked to, announce that there's a rodeo themed fall festival with the Boys and Girls Club. It's like October the 11th from 2 to 6 at Marion Smith School. So, check that out, it looks like a lot of fun.
Good to see you.
Mr. Woodford?
I'd just like to say, the first CAC committee meeting this year is Tuesday, October 14th at Arcadia Middle School at 6 p.m. I encourage any parents who have kids with special needs, please attend. We need as much attendance this year as possible. Definitely will need your input.
Sorry, say the date again.
October 14th, Tuesday.
Jennifer is saying it's been changed.
We had to change it because.
What's the date?
October 28th is where the list will be approved till the next.
October 28th. So if you have a child or student that receives special ed services, I highly encourage you that they go. And it's October 28th, and it's at
Arcadia.
Arcadia.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
behalf of Dr. Johnson, who could not be here tonight. She's dealing with two family medical situations, but she did want everyone to know that her thoughts are with us, and she also wanted to state that with the current unrest and the global round across Accomack County Public Schools, it greatly concerns her. Therefore, she will continue to ask questions and contribute where she can. She's looking forward to better days. Thank you.
Public comment is next.
Rules of public comment. 1, identify yourself by name and 911 address. 2, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. 3, individuals may reserve or transfer their time to another speaker. 4, specific personnel matters must not be initiated at a public meeting. 5, speakers cannot be abusive, threatening, or use profanity. 6, specify the nature of your remarks. 7, speakers who have previously spoken on a subject for public comment should not be allowed to readdress the board during the same public comment period. 8, specific questions should be resolved prior to the meeting by contacting the superintendent or their appropriate staff member. 9, PowerPoint presentation for public comment has to present the presentation 24 hours in advance for review by the staff for appropriateness. And 10, all questions should be directed to the chairperson who has her discretion to solicit the response from the appropriate staff member.
First up, Colby Buckley.
Good evening, my name is Colby Burford. My address is 8128 Beebe Road, Shanty, Virginia, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Shanty Elementary School. I wish I could say that I was here tonight to say thank you or to give you praise for a job well done, but unfortunately I am not. I am absolutely appalled at the decision to have only one board meeting a month. Why was this decision made? Was it made based on your personal schedules? If so, that is a very unfortunate reason to make a decision that will affect our students, staff, and community stakeholders. When you all decided to run to be members of the school board, you knew that a time commitment was necessary. And yet, at this time, you made a decision that is going to affect our students because you needed more time. And if you cannot dedicate the necessary time to help the students and staff, then perhaps this elected position is not right for you. Furthermore, I sent an email on August 7th requesting another volunteer night for Shanty parents. I also offered to help with collecting names of parents so that they could go ahead and get the ridiculous trainings done ahead of time. And I was told that HR had a certain process and that was not required or not needed. I asked again on August 28th, 3 weeks later, and I was told that they were going to look at some dates over the next couple of weeks. And today is the first time I'm hearing that we're finally going to have another night. Now volunteers have to be approved by you all, yet you will only meet once a month. Why? Why is the ACPS school board trying to limit the involvement of parents and guardians under the guise of student safety? Shame on you. So no longer are the days of class parties where parents volunteer to come in and do crafts or help with treats. No longer are the days of making gingerbread houses in the classroom where parents would come in and help their own child with making them. So thank you for ensuring that teachers will not have the help they need for the fun and meaningful events that our students look forward to. I hope that this board will consider what is actually best for students, not yourselves. We should be bending over backwards to help and encourage parents to be involved, not making it nearly impossible for them to do so. And with this remaining time, I would also like to give a shout out to my school principal at Shanty Elementary School, because I feel that she is doing her absolute best being the only administrator in the building, and it is absolutely appalling that you would look at numbers on a piece of paper and decide that there is no extra help needed, and that is absolutely disgusting to me. And I am just very disappointed in all of this with the volunteer policy. I have no volunteers in my classroom, not because parents don't want to, but they have been asking me every single day since we had our open house on the 28th. When are they going to have another night? When are they going to have another night? And I keep telling them, I don't know. I've asked multiple times, and it's never been brought up. And now that you're only having the one meeting a month and you tabled the volunteer list tonight, so that means those people who have been waiting and waiting will now have to wait another month, including my mom who finished her stuff over a month ago and is still yet to receive approval. It's just very disgusting to me, and I'm just very disappointed.
Mary Rose?
Hi, I'm Terry Rose. I live at 33056 Stony Creek Road, New Church, Virginia. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm here to say thank you. Thank you very much. I have a 11-year-old who is thriving. He has support that he needs. He has his aid. He has transportation home. This is a child who rides with no one, and he gets in willingly, and he loves his team that does this. Thank you, Mr. Reader, for making that happen. It has been a stark difference going from the lower to the upper, and I'm just gonna say it, that he is thriving. He went to a dance. He put shoes on for the first time in 2 years. 2 years he's not put a pair of shoes on. He has been on the soccer field today. I saw Mr. Spidell. Coach Marshall has been phenomenal. And I will say again about Larry Marshall at Arcadia. Do not let that man go. He was the foundational building block for this child to get where he was. And if you don't believe that SPED support is important, please make sure that these kids are getting the support and getting the people who want to build that relationship and that rapport to make them successful. Because for the first time in ever, I feel like I have a team that I don't have to walk in a meeting with a reporter for, and that they are looking to do and build this child for success. So I want to say thank you for everybody that made that happen. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm Hannah O'Toole, and I live on the highway in Parksley, and I'm transferring my time to Beaver. Good evening, Connie Burford, Shaky, Virginia, 8128 BB Road. I have many questions regarding the field trip policy and the volunteer list, and I know I'm not alone. Where's the criteria listed that the board is using to eliminate people from the volunteer list? Shouldn't that be public knowledge? Where's your policy? Do you have one? I don't think you do. Did the group that was appointed this year, that was approved, did they have to come before the board? No, I don't think they did. The ones that came through the summer, I don't believe they did. But yet, going forward, everybody has to come before the board. Not understanding that. People that want to go to the pumpkin patch or the apple orchard for the kids have to be approved by the board, but if they're going overnight in Florida, they didn't have to. Please make it make sense, because I really can't. I'm struggling here. Since before the school year began, it's been mentioned multiple times that St. Pete Elementary School needs a part-time assistant principal. I think recent events show that we could have benefited from that. When something happens in the school, there should always be an administrator in the building. We shouldn't have to lean on the fifth grade teacher to take over his position as teacher and be the administrator. They shouldn't have to do that job and somebody else's job as well. I mean, they are overworked as it is. But if this division can fund $335,000 for fleet vehicles with a board approval and a grant writer that is not in the budget, we can certainly find the money to have an assistant principal for 3 days a week like we did last year, but we haven't done it yet. Somebody please make that make sense. As for your meetings, I was appalled to find out that the people that I campaigned with all of a sudden don't think that they can come to 2 meetings a month. You know, we wanted to make sure we did everything that was best for the students. and our public and our constituents. We campaigned on safety. We campaigned on a lot of things. We wanted to be available to our constituents. We wanted to make sure that they could participate in the meetings. We pushed to make sure that on the work meetings, that people who worked in the buildings and students could come up here and stand and talk to us and make sure that they got their opinions across. And then on public meetings, that the public could stand up here and say, what's wrong? What do we need? What do we need to do? But no, now all of a sudden, you're only gonna have one meeting a month. And that's gonna be a month apart. So we've got employees that we need to hire, but we can only hire them once a month. That's not good. It's not gonna look good come election time. I was a little perplexed. So I decided what I would do, since Dr. Miller thinks that's gonna be the norm in the state, I was gonna go look at other divisions. I started out looking divisions, all the divisions, and I said, no, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to our cohorts, which we always seem to go to when we look at the teacher salaries. We're gonna go to the cohort divisions. That's what we look at, right? So when I was looking at the cohort divisions, I was surprised to find out of all of our cohorts, only 2 has 1 meeting a month. 1 has 5 schools in it. The other one has 7 schools. The rest of them have 2 or more meetings a month. How about that? But I'm offering you all a suggestion. If you would like to go to what Shenandoah does, they have 2 meetings a month, every month, except for November, December, and the months in the summer. If you would like to go to 1 meeting a month, do it then. Don't take the time during the school year when people need to come in and talk to you during the school year about what's going on. That would be the best idea for you all to do. As for the committees, those school divisions have committees too. I think you all need to rethink that, because everybody needs to come in here and talk to you about what's going on in these schools. Thank you.
Ms. Knox.
Good evening to everybody. Good evening to the board, good evening to all of you. I've been saying for a while, we can do better.
Could you just say your name and address?
Oh, sorry, my name is Yvonne Knox. I live at 27376 White Neck Road, Parksville, Virginia, 23421. I've been saying that we could do better. Every time when I come here, even especially tonight, I know that I can't swim. So I pray that God will give me support and to be able to stay afloat. I have several concerns. One thing that stands before me most of all is the purchase of 10 vehicles at over $300,000. My questions are, who chose the vehicle type? Who chose the vendor? Who chose how many? Who chose where they are placed? Who is authorized to use them? And was there an extended warranty purchased? Was there were the things put on them? And what is the school board's involvement in all of this? Good choice of a car, CRV, that was myself. All right, my next thing is this. All the moves that are being held in the school, and I did check that, I would like a response to these questions. All the moves that are made in the school, the principals who have been moved around, are any parents consulted? Are any of the teachers consulted? Nope. Is this what the best interest of the children, of the students? A little bit of sense, but I may not have much after all. And so you may be placing someone in a position who is not, I just call everybody a fool in here. I'll go with that. But you might be placing someone in here who's not capable of moving on to that next step. Are the teachers or the principals who are already in given a chance to have schooling and to advance within the school system? I had a teacher once said, people don't like homegrown potatoes, and that's what we're finding in this county. They don't want the people who are already here, who live here, who have no choice in leaving. When the new superintendent was announced, I said 2 things. I pray that she will give the board respect, and the board will respect her. And I'm looking for those things. There are many things that are going on. Some things that I even brought up, I don't even know anything about. But I'm researching more things. And we need more transparency. These committees that you have, finance and discipline, are there any parents on these committees? Are there any citizens on these committees? Nope. You know, there are children. We should have some say in that. You don't know everything. You don't know the opinions of all the people. We need a problem in this county. And if we're not getting it from from you where we're supposed to get it. We need to do better. We can do better. I had a lot more things on here, but my time's about up. And we can do better, we need to do better, and we should do better. We find out you can't do it. You know that. Find out you can't have 2 meetings a year. Say, I don't want this anymore. I've had positions at work too. But we ought to be able to do what we sign up to say we're going to do.
Bowman?
Good evening. My name is Amy Bowman and I live at 30461 Cusian Cove, and I am a proud Punkateek Elementary School parent. I'm going to congratulate you first on the changes that you have made. I'm also going to acknowledge that it is not just the superintendent that is making decisions, but an entire school board's decisions that's before us. So it's not one person, it's all of you as a whole. Day in and day out, you have the opportunity to make a change in every student's life in this county. I've been able to experience 5 different schools in 6 different school districts and states in the past 20 years. I am very aware of change and adaptability. As a teacher at Punkateek this past year, Dr. Patterson and Ms. Payne and I have been able to collaborate on numerous occasions on ways to improve. So yes, changes and improvements are necessary and needed to be made, and I am thankful that with new leadership, you have taken some steps forwards, although it may have been too much at one time for this Eastern Shore concept. But saying change is a good thing is also equal to too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And since my children were born, I have taught them this. I know without a doubt Ms. Payne would be the best principal and do whatever you asked of her at any school she was assigned. But the school that needed her was Punkateek Elementary, starting on June 16th. If we are truly going to be champions in this county, and I agree with you, we will be champions. So please don't tell me that change is temporary. Temporary and consistency go hand in hand in my world. So please look at me as I begin to explain to you how I firsthand know what 2 individuals go through with the word temporary displacement. Temporary could be overnight, a few weeks, or a year. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about 2 children who have a loving father and mother, being consistent as possible, as best as possible. And more so, they're not like every child at Punkateek. So when I have to hear temporary displacement, I'm speaking to you as the loving, devoted mother and faithful, active duty, military spouse who has to hear the word temporary more than you know. Temporary displacement is one of the hardest things to live through. So when you want to talk about temporary and consistency at Punkateek Elementary School, and you're looking at many children that rely on one woman that knows every single child's name, that might be the only thing Wait, my time. One consistency, even if it might be temporary. Let's rethink this temporary displacement. Yes, you have temporarily deployed Ms. Payne, and it will have a lasting effect on the children at Punkateek Elementary, just as every deployment of any military child. Now let's get back to another positive change. Every school has been greeted with "We Are the Champions" and Pillars of Hope banners outside of their building. The pillars represent unity, belonging, and impact, all of which Ms. Payne worked to build the past 8 years. Think about temporary consistency and what the pillars represent. There are roughly 450 students that attend Punkateek, and Ms. Payne can name them and their families by name. You have approximately 420 staff, of which 303 are teachers in Accomack County Schools. Can you do the same? Ms. Payne has built strong relationships and created the unity that empowers the pillars with all 450 students and families. There's not a single person that can hold that school together because it takes the relationship only Ms. Payne has built on 2 main words that your pillars need, all school needs and any relationship needs. Those words are trust and respect. You as a school board lost Punkateek Elementary's parents' trust and respect.
Thank you. Pat Wickenbach.
My name's Pat Lukenbach. I live at 24352 Nancock Gardens Road in Nancock. Well, that's going to be hard to follow up. Also here, in reference to Ms. Payne, we obviously can't speak on personnel matters, which I just read. But what I would say, to echo Ms. Bowman, is that the leadership that Ms. Payne had, you know, if any of y'all, you've been on a team, on the school board together, you take on the attitude of the person at the top. And there's some fantastic teachers at Pungatig. My son's in second grade there. We've had a great experience all around. But it would certainly be a mistake to not think that Ms. Payne doesn't elevate those teachers. Is it 1%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? It happens. I mean, I see it. You go through the pickup line. She's dancing out in the pickup line. God, I wouldn't be able to stand these kids for 10 minutes. And she's dancing out there Friday afternoon. I mean, it's hard. It's a lot. And the way that she lifts up that entire school, it's you can't put a value on that. The culture is built over time. It's not built in 3 weeks. It's not built in a month. It's not built in a year. She made that, and I think you see the support that she has. She's an amazing, amazing person, and she built that school. It's her school, you know. And I would say secondarily to that, changes like this, you know, mid-year, it's like there's nothing I care about more than my son's school. You know, it's the most important thing in his life, and if I thought there was a better option, I would send him there. You know, we're parents that really care. We have a son that does really well. You don't want parents to take their kids out and send them to private schools because you're taking the people away, the good people. You know, I don't think it's, you know, a great reward to say, hey, Ms. Payne, you've done such a great job. We're shipping you off somewhere else. You know, it would disincentivize doing a good job in my eyes. But I just think those are a few things to consider. The leadership aspect and the way that it lifts the entire school, and then also the way that it makes parents feel, because I wouldn't leave there in a heartbeat if it meant better schooling. And that's not to downplay what I think are amazing teachers there, but it's certainly all affected by what she does. So I think some of that stuff maybe didn't get entirely thought through by the decision makers. That's all.
I don't know if you all can hear me, I'm just gonna make this remark. We hired a superintendent to run the entire division, and she has to make decisions based on all of our schools. And we understand, we know Ms. Payne has been at Pungatig for a long time, and we understand that you all are very fond of her. She was needed temporarily at another school. Temporarily. And she will return to Pungatig, but in the meantime, she is elsewhere. But that is our full intent. We have one last speaker, Caitlin Hart.
My name is Caitlin Hart. I live at 12355 Highland Drive in Bellhaven. I am here as a parent of 2 children who currently attend Pungatig Elementary School, and I am shocked, disheartened, and deeply concerned over the recent changes, not just at Pungatig really, but Accomack County in general. The absolutely abysmal communication of these changes and subsequent statements also deserve to be addressed, but for now I'm just going to focus on my chief concerns, which is the well-being of the students and staff at Pungatig and in Accomack County. Pungatig has a reputation for being one of the best elementary schools in the county, and that is thanks in large part to the dedication of its administrators. Given the context of Pungatig having a new principal and not having a librarian or school counselor, it seems bizarre that you would further weaken the support system of that school by removing proven leadership. There also seems to be a pattern arising with a lack of transparency, true consideration for the well-being of students impacted by such large changes, and in general effective communication. Y'all wonder why we have trouble attracting librarians, counselors, teachers, and administrators, and it seems like beyond the general state of things, it's because you're refusing to let good people do good work.
anybody else that needed to speak that didn't have a chance to sign up? I did.
Good evening, James Fetterman, 32255 Color Pond Road, and I just want to briefly speak to what Mr. Whipper was asking about the allocation. With regards to music, it's important that we understand that in the full picture, when you teach middle and high school, you get $300 that is split between two schools. So I get $150 for the middle school and $150 for the high school. Now let's look at that even closer. One piece of music costs $3.95. And if you have 20 kids in your class, you can legit only order one song. And I will tell you that there are music teachers across the county that could lose their license because we are illegally copying music, because we don't have the funds. We can request funds from Ms. Taylor, and she's very understanding, and she will do what she can. But to say run a middle school or a high school program with $150, it's insane. It's not fair to the students. And when it comes to choir, my kids are my possession because I make them sound good, but I can't do it beyond what I'm given. When we look at all of this stuff that we're trying to do within our county, we've got to find a way to have some elements that make us look good. And the arts do just that. There is a lot that I would love to say, but I just want to land on the fact that we've got to do better. Whether it's the money that we allocate or whatever, we've got to find a way to really hear the people and then to do something with what we hear. We've been talking a long time about how can we move this forward. I'm tired of complaining. I'm tired of ruffling feathers. Like, give me the money to work with my kids, let me go in the side door and leave out the side door, and I'm good. And I think that should be afforded to all of the educators in Accomack County. Thank you.
I have two questions. Have you ever communicated the need for more money for more sheet music?
Oh, absolutely, and I got it.
To your principal, and then,
Yes.
they provided you with money?
Yes.
Then my second question is, please think about what a reasonable amount would be, what a proper amount would be, and then would you please let your principal know that? Because we want to make these amounts appropriate.
And there's no way to ever equitably do that. And the reason why, there's so many different levels of students. So a lower level student the music would cost a lot less. If you have a higher level kid, your music costs a lot more. So there's no way to really equitably do that. When my principal asked for our SMART goals, we outlined the things that we're going to do, but then we've got to have the resources that will go with that. And again, my principal did go to Karen Taylor to get additional funds to make it happen, and there were no questions asked. We got it. But I think that we shouldn't have to almost beg for additional resources to make our programs for our students. We shouldn't have to do that. So it's never going to be equitable. Yes, elementary, they use consumables, and when they're gone, but they should never be gone. You know, our resources in the middle school, it should never be gone. So we've just got to find a way to do it in a more innovative way. And I think you do that by really bringing the educators that do the work every day to the table, to hear from them, as you're suggesting, to make that happen. Yep.
As I stated before about the finance committee, it is an open forum, so it's not closed. It's on a Tuesday night when we would normally have a school board meeting. So it is open that you can come in and you can sit, and I invite you all because we need to know these things. And like you said, Dr. President, maybe it might not be equitable, but we need input. And so these committees that we're doing, we're able to focus more on the finance part of it. And it is open. So instead of having 15, 25 minutes, 45 minutes in a meeting, now we can have up to 2-3 hours just on the finance committee meeting. So we're able to put more time into that. And again, it's open for anybody to come and to attend. So it's the same way with the policy meeting as well. So,
And all those meetings are posted on our website.
and we're gonna, like I said, this is just, we're trying to see if this helps. And if it doesn't, then we may switch back. But right now, we're just trying some things to be more transparent, but to buckle down and get open. So, anyway.
Could I have one more public comment, please?
No, I'm sorry, the public,
You just offered it here. No, no, you just offered it.
we just offered it.
Please.
Can she come with me, because it's about the same thing. Does she also have to say her address to the staff?
Everyone has to say their name and their address.
Just want to be ready for it.
Okay, hi, my name is Erica Blaine. I live at 31 Ames Street in Hancock. And I'm Christine Stewart. I live at 27271 Whitetail Road, Melville, Virginia.
What are we doing here? Is there one public comment? Is there two public comments?
It's about the same thing, so I guess one public comment.
Okay.
Okay. Earlier before this meeting, I actually was sent tomorrow's Eastern Shore Post, whereas there was a comment saying that teachers on the mainland are being compensated for providing virtual instruction to students on Tangier. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Punkatig Elementary. I teach science. Actually, I had Dr. Ady in my room today and Ms. Clark seeing a science experiment that I did, having 1st graders come in, while I was also virtually teaching to Tangier at the same time for my 4 5th grade students on Tangier. And I'm unsure as to why we said we've been getting compensated when we haven't for the last 2 years. I don't know if Christina's had anything to that as well, but.
I mean, I'm the 5th grade reading teacher, and I was the reading specialist last year at Punkatig, and I had to go into 4th grade and teach and do the Tangier thing, and we've not been compensated for anything.
Could you please follow up with your principal and HR in the morning? I don't know, I'm not.
If you can,
I don't write those
email me, I'll be
checks.
happy to talk to you.
Yes.
Yeah, because I asked Dr. Patterson last year if we could get a stipend for this.
So it took effect this year. I put it into effect for this year. So you wouldn't have seen it last year.
But it's the same person.
Yeah, well, we have to get it through finance first, so it's coming. It is coming.
That's great.
Okay, Madam Chair, I move that the adjourned meeting.
All in favor?